people does God expect us to be? There was a movement in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, that started in America called the Jesus People movement. And I think that's, in essence, what God wants us to be like. Jesus people. What was Jesus like? To follow Jesus, what an amazing thing. If you don't know him, have a look at him. Have a look at his claims. Have a look at his lifestyle. It's well worth considering following Jesus. I've followed him now for nearly 30 odd years. I can't remember. I became a Christian in 1983 when I was 19. Following him has been the best thing that I have ever done. And more importantly, getting to know him has been the best thing I've ever done. To know him more and more, that's my desire, that's my heart's desire. What is he like? What is it like to be a Jesus person? To look at how Jesus was, we can look in the Bible. We can look at his ways, his character. We live in a society where vengeance is something that's key. People's rights, certainly in the West, my rights, what's right, what's wrong. And yet when we look to the life of Jesus and the way Jesus treated people, his life and character showed us what God is really like. And one of the greatest aspects of Jesus' character was forgiveness. I think we need to be a forgiving people. We need to show as Christians what it means to be forgiven. If you know him, if you know Christ and you've met Jesus, you know what that forgiveness means to you. I can know all about him. I can study, I can get a degree in theology, I can know the ins and outs and memorize every word that's been ever written. But you know, unless I've met him, it means nothing. It's just head knowledge. And that's the thing. Has Christ been revealed in you? Paul wrote about that. He was a follower, Paul the Apostle. And he said constantly about, my desire is that Christ would be revealed in you. And I think that's the key. A friend of mine recently said that if Jesus was around today, he'd be a socialist. Well, that might be true, I don't know. But I think socialism copied what Jesus was like, not the other way around. I don't think he would be a socialist. I think he would, like he was said, he would go the extra mile. He went the extra mile in everything he said, in everything he done. What a society we could be if we went that extra mile and went beyond the normal, the status quo. To offer forgiveness when everyone else is baying for blood. To offer love when everyone else wants justification and justice. Sadly, we live in this culture of blame. But you know, we're called to be in the world, but not part of the world and its values and its traditions. We're called to be in the world, have an influence in the world, but not to be dragged under by its values. Can I encourage us all, can I speak to myself in this? Let's be real followers of Christ, not just in word, not just following the guidelines, if you like, of the Bible, but actually following him. And the only way we can follow him is if we know him. Do you know him today? Do you really know Jesus? And are you following him? You know, when I was younger, we did prison ministry. We used to go into prisons, mainly in London, and we used to share the gospel and talk to people. And I remember going into Pentonville prison one time, on one occasion, and there was a new chaplain there. A nice guy, had the dog collar on, the uniform. From all exterior viewpoints, you would have thought, oh, he's a religious man. And we were discussing what we were doing, because he was new to the job. We'd been in Pentonville for a long time, so we were telling him what we do. And you know, he came out and he said, oh, well, I don't really want to cause much upset, so maybe today isn't the time for reaping souls, as you put it, he said. Maybe we just share about God. And I was dismayed. We shared the gospel anyway. But you know, that man was afraid of the consequences of sharing the gospel, sharing the truth, sharing Jesus. And that's what I mean by saying, do you know him? You know, we can say all the right things, sing all the right songs, be morally upright, be nice, be pleasant. But do we know him? Follow Jesus. Look into him. He's great to follow. Have a great day.